Hello everybody, Crimson Thunder here. Welcome to level number 11 of this playthrough of Tomb Raider 2. Immediately after we start this level of the Tibetan Foothills, we are immediately granted by a golden eagle. And that is entirely okay because this is actually my favorite level of the entire game. And please do for and I do apologize ahead of time about the lack of videos that I haven't recently because I have been really busy with quite a lot, and unfortunately there has been some life events that have occurred recently that wasn't necessarily all very pleasant, and I'm not going to reveal the details about it right now, but
Uh-huh.
a couple weeks ago, I encountered something that almost put me in the hospital, and it has been a major impact on my overall mental health. And I had basically had to take care of had to take care of that. Anyway, we ended up killing a couple of leopards, and we ended up taking out and we grabbed a couple of Uzi, not Uzi, automatic pistol clips that ended up coming along it. These are too close quarters combat to in order to in order to just use the normal pistols for from that. Anyway, things recently have been pretty rough, and I had to take a little bit of a break from this and actually take care of that. Plus, I also have been doing a course for a new for a, for a program that I've been a part for a little while, and I'm going to hopefully be an IT tech support in the near future. So things are have I had things that recently have been I'm trying to make it to the on the upswing as best as I can, but unfortunately there are other things that I've also had other plans for me, and I'm just going to do what I can just do what I can to mitigate all of that. So if I don't seem to be in the world's best mood, please forgive me. But I promise you all that I'm not going to take this out on anybody that wasn't responsible for causing any of this pain. And that's just the gist of it, and that's why I haven't been able to do too much of this recently. And anyway, we had to, but last time in the previous level, we had actually found the Seraph, and we are actually and we're going through the Tibetan foothills in order to get to the Tibetan monastery, which will actually be the next level after this. Well, that actually didn't go quite as planned. How do I get back over there? Alright, here we go. This might be a little bit so, and obviously the mood that I have been in recently is definitely reflecting on some of my gameplay. So it's definitely not going to be perfect. So I might be taking a little bit of some drastic measures. Like for instance, I might as well use a shotgun just because of the fact that it's in one, it's in close quarters combat, and two, I just rather deal with enemies as quick as possible, even if it may not be the optimal weapon for save and conserving certain things of ammo. Anyway, we'll come back. We'll come back up. Don't bother. Don't bother going up a certain area, because when you get across here, a certain area, just because it will lead to a dead end, which pretty much shows you where the first secret is, which we will get to in a little bit. Alright, before we actually make that jump again, let's actually save this here. There we go. So we do not run. And jump on that. But now that we have killed, since we killed that golden eagle while we were here, we might as we can basically climb up without actually have to worry too much about that. Anyway, let's go ahead and grab the M16, because there are a couple of new types of enemies in this game that the M16 is usually best at dealing with. And since we have the distance, we'll be able to deal with them best we can. Where did the second one go? There we go. But in my opinion, the M16 is actually the best weapon to use against these two particular enemies in this specific spot, because they do have a lot of health that the normal pistols are just not powerful enough to be able to deal with most efficiently. They do drop a med pack and a couple of automatic pistol clips. Now we'll get on the snowmobile and listen to this awesome music. And our objective is that we're going to seek a hut. The key for that hut that we were just at. Run that guy over. He will drop a thing of shotgun shells, which we will actually get to. We'll actually get when we come back to that area. So just be aware that I have not forgotten about this. And I'm just going to do my own stunt here, which, crap. Try this again. There we go. Let's just line this up carefully. So now we're actually going to move those blocks out of the way. And what we actually just did is not actually the way that this puzzle was intended. It actually involved going up this ramp first with the snowmobile. But we actually do need to access this area. Now I'm going to grab the shotgun here because there's a couple of leopards that are in close proximity. I took a little bit of some damage there, so I'll just use one of my med packs. And now we're gonna get these out of the way because we're gonna drive our snowmobile through this. With that out of the way, we are now going to use our snowmobile and actually finally get our way through this. There we go. And we're going to take the left-hand ramp over here. Quickly save over here. Up ahead, we're going to take the right-hand side. Stop right here. And because we're actually going to pull a lever up on the top of this particular ice ladder, so we can actually proceed to the next area. So we did pick up a couple pairs of grenades, and from pretty much here on out, for the most part, we're going to pretty much try to minimize the use of the low-powered weapons, unless certain conditions otherwise stated. Because most of the enemies are actually more powerful and actually can take a lot more damage that is not very efficient for the use of my M16. The Uzis will also be the thing that I would be able to use a little bit more too. Though I would prefer to use the M16 a little bit more in this particular area. And these guys actually drop 80 shots, 40 more shots of M16 ammo. But when we definitely get towards the end of the game, we're definitely going to be using the M16 for many areas where we're going to be using for like long gaps. Before we proceed onward, let's go ahead and grab the small med pack that this guy actually dropped. Now we'll get back on. And we're gonna turbo away across here because there are 3 guys that we're going to hit on our way over here. Don't worry, none of the 3 people that we just hit actually dropped anything. And before we get too much into trouble, we're gonna save here and pick up the second secret. Where's the other one? There you are. Now that we got taken those guys out, we can now proceed. Now a guy would say that that going across that particular area where the avalanche occurs is not necessary. Is where you would park the snowmobile. It's actually not necessary because there's a particular way that it seems to be intended in order to go for. It's a less riskier approach that may be a little bit faster. Now let's go ahead and save here. Now that we actually dealt with that, verifying that we have gotten that, which will actually come along to in a little bit. Which actually is right. Which we actually can go right here. This opens this up. Okay, that was weird. Now but maybe that is maybe that is kind of useless in the. Maybe that is kind of a useless thing in the long run because it doesn't seem that this is the. Doesn't seem that you can realistically jump all the way across that. I see. Yeah, that's probably why there's a guide over there that pretty much says otherwise, because there is a way to get, because you do have to go into that ravine, so you do want to actually come down this ladder. We're gonna get the Uzis, and before we actually do need to get this particular key. I'm sure this was just poor level design at this point. This good thug actually does not drop anything, so we're going to just continue on. Very careful not to hit that icicle trap. We can actually backflip our way out of it. And going across this little canyon that we actually jumped across, there's a couple of pairs of grenades in this little hole. But as soon as we pick that up, we're going to be granted by a few leopards. And let's actually go ahead, and it'll be best to take those out because they will. I don't feel like getting mauled by 3 big cats at the same time. I already have one cat of my own, and as much as I love him, he's he can be a little bit of a tiger at times. Okay, now, all right, now that we got that out of the way, now we can actually proceed to actually opening that drawbridge, actually bridging the gap of that drawbridge that we're going to need to get to in a sec. All right, let's make our way across this. Apparently, this over around that corner is actually the thing where you can actually get to that area. But for some reason, as you ended up seeing, it didn't exactly work out too well as didn't work out as intended. And before I continue to forget any further, let's go ahead and open this drawbridge up. And and of, and of course we cannot eh, because we had to take a longer route back up. That's how That's how they ended up doing the grid way of making this. So now let's actually save this. I'm gonna save right here because we got that avalanche. Jump across here. We're gonna save here because there's a enemy that's gonna come up shortly. That's on a snowmobile. As soon as you end up touching this key, it's gonna spawn the enemy. And he can deal a massive amount of damage. And if you're not careful, he can actually kill you pretty damn quickly. So touch this. This will spawn in that enemy. There he is. All right. New plan. We're gonna use this. We're gonna use the Uzis because it's difficult to it's actually a bit difficult to maneuver. As much as the M16 actually does more damage, we don't exactly have a lot of room to maneuver. Make sure these are selected. Alright, now with that dealt with, we are definitely going to save. We actually are going to save, but before we actually do that, we are definitely grabbing this key before we actually do anything else. Because this is, as much as I like this level a lot, it can be frustrating if you're not prepared. Now, we're not going to actually bring back that guy's snowmobile, because it actually does not have the turbo like this actually does. And once we approach this area, we're going where we are about to come up to. We are actually going to stick to the left-hand side again, and we wanted to actually jump across that, so we have enough room. So we'll have enough speed in order to get that gap. There we go. Because I'm not going through that hell again. And unfortunately, this is the point where we do unfortunately have to leave the snowmobile. And there is a couple of leopards. And here's the first guy we ran over. He drops a shotgun shells. Yeah, along with the Seraph, we still have that hut key, because that hut key is now we're going to open it up where this particular thing, and as soon as we actually open this up, we are going to find two things of Uzi clips, two small med packs, but more importantly, the switch in order to open this up, where we're going to be treated by well, we really should be using the grenade launcher. Got a large med pack, another thing of Uzi clips. Sadly, it looks like we're not it sadly does look like some more of that actually did spawn in the wrong area. Oh well. And I would like to actually try to get those this time. So we actually are going to go through this part again. Pick up this pick up this. Gonna actually now take the grenade, get the grenade launcher ready. Once we enter here, oh, the M16 clips are there were some M16 clips here. There we go. One pair of automatic pistol clips, one large med pack, and another set of Uzi clips. Now, there's going to be another baddie with a snowmobile down over here. Now, where is he? The third secret is actually over there. But unfortunately, it's not possible to... It's definitely not... Oh, he's stuck over there. Yeah, that's a glitch. That is definitely a glitch I've never seen before. There we go. Now now if I can just get the just the spot. I think so once we come up here, we can actually take the M16 out now. There we go. Now we can actually take this snowmobile and actually use it for the rest of the mission. for the rest of the remaining part of the mission. And word of warning. Word of warning, don't do what I just did. That's a little... Well, this is slightly frustrating. And one of the main reasons you don't want to really use the grenade launcher against this guy, as much as the massive amount of damage this thing can do, is that it's extremely easy to miss. Guess I have to go with the Uzis again, as much as I prefer the M6. As much as I prefer the M16, only because the Uzis will allow you to maneuver while shooting. Damn. Probably. No, not the auto pistols. There we go. Only that it's probably stuck in a way that may not be able to use it. If there's anything. And here I may have caused the glitches that glitch again. Yep, I did. Alright, finally. Save the game here, unless you want to go through. I want to go through this hassle again. Because using the action key here, from now on, will actually cause the guns to fire. And go up the this side of it. And before we actually continue forward, as you've probably seen in slightly earlier, before all the disaster actually ended up happening, the final secret of this level is actually right here. And there's two things of boulders that come out. Grabbing this will grab will grant you four extra Uzi clips, and now we're actually gonna go ahead and climb out of here. And we're now going to climb out of here. And once we get to the next really open area, we have two more people with snowmobilers. But instead of using the M16, we're actually gonna use this. So before we go into through any more frustration, we're gonna actually go ahead and save here. No snowmobilers definitely don't drop anything. And we do actually, and we should run back to our snowmobile. Take out those two thugs that come out with it. Now we can get on here. Whoops. But as you saw, there is another bad guy over there. So we can, and that actually should be the last one of the game of this particular level. Okay, we got the block of ice. I think we're actually gonna take. I actually don't think we're going to need to take that snowmobile any further. There is a guy with a Alright, now that we have now that we have actually killed all those guys, it does not appear that we can safely just jump down here, and I think we unfortunately do have to jump on with a snowmobile and actually obviously destroying it in the process. But that actually is the last enemy in this particular level, so we'll go ahead and not worry about anything else. Just gotta get back onto the snowmobile, and we're going to jump across. These guys don't drop anything. Just make sure that when we crash, we do it in the water. Because as you probably saw, it is not safe to do that any other way, sadly. But I do, and in other news, one game I'm going to start doing fairly soon is going to be a game called Aircraft Carrier Survival, since it's a game I really wanted to do at some point really shortly, because they actually fixed a very critical bug not long ago, and we're gonna actually. And when that happens, I am fairly decent at that particular game, to the point where I'm comfortable being able to show off the sandbox mode now that they fixed that seriously bad bug that made the game literally unplayable. But in this case, we didn't use too many med packs, and it only took us a half hour to actually do this. Not too bad. Next time, we're going to actually be diving into the actual monastery itself, where we're going to be finally returning that seraph, so we can actually get to the really to get to where we really wanted to go to, which I'm starting to dread a little bit. But until next time, I'm Crimson Thunders. Thank you very much for watching, everybody, and I do apologize for that sloppy performance. Hopefully, I'll get that corrected pretty soon. But until next time, I'm Crimson Thunder. See you, everybody.